Hello, 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 everyone. We are live at 5 with Deborah Deras, your friend, Deborah Lisa Cujino Deras, to be exact. Hello, how's everybody on a reduced stress anchor peace Tuesday? I used to do Transformational Tuesday. By the way, I'm streaming live. I should be whispering from the Camarillo Library where I'm about to speak. I don't know if you know this, but I facilitate an entrepreneurial boot camp, an 8-week boot camp. It's called Get Your Small Business Online. This is our sixth cohort. So I facilitated these trainings for Ventura, Camarillo, Santa Barbara businesses for about a year and a half, 2 years now, and each group has like 20 people. Anyway, it's awesome. And tonight's the graduation. So I'm here. It doesn't look like it. Looks like Fiji, but I'm actually here in beautiful Camarillo, and I'm so grateful for the library for giving me space to be here with you because you know what? We're committed. What are we committed to? Overcoming burnout. We're committed to letting go of anything that no longer serves us, what stresses us, so that we can be more aligned for our soul's contract, our life's purpose, what we're really here for. And what we really are here for is bigger than whatever we're going through right now. Right? Okay. So, as I promised you yesterday, I am going to be live at 5 every day this week, giving you inspiration, information to be able to transform in whatever area of your life you're feeling stress. Maybe it's in your career. Today, we're talking about career. Maybe it's in relationships. Maybe it's in world events. Maybe it's in finances. Okay. So today we are going to focus on career. But before we do, let's start out with the stress reduction practice. Okay. It took me probably about 2 hours to get here from where I live. I'm from LA to Ventura. It's not that far, but it took like 2 hours. Why? Because we have traffic. Okay. And so during the time of the traffic, and I wasn't driving. I'm on the No Stress Express so that I can speak and train and coach and facilitate and be available for you. So I save my energy for that and I keep my stress low by keeping my driving minimal, very minimal, extremely minimal. Okay. So you can actually do that with yourself too. Identify what is the person, place, or thing that gives you the most stress. Write it down right now. What is the person, place, thing, or activity that gives you most stress? And for me, that activity was driving. And I said, well, what if I released driving? And so 12 years ago, I decided to take a break. And I didn't know how long the break was going to be, and I didn't know how extensive the break was going to be. I had been driving from the time I was 15 till the time I was 45, 30 years of driving. And being a professor at the University of Phoenix, I would drive to Ontario, Costa Mesa, Palmdale, La Mirada, Gardena. And that was my classes I would teach were 6 to 10 p.m. So it would be 10 p.m. at night, and I would be driving home. And one day I was driving home. This was the 16th year of me teaching. And my stress was a little high because I was going through a divorce and just a lot of things were going on at that time, a lot of transformation. Maybe it was I was 35. Yeah, not 45, 35. And I just made a decision. Hey, this driving, it's too stressful. I'm going to take a break. I didn't say I was going to give it up, but I said I was going to take a break. So write down one thing that you're going to take a break from. We like to call it a let go list. So one thing that you might let go of that's bringing you a high amount of stress. For you, and I want to hear from you in the comments, um, you may want to say it's saying LinkedIn is not on. Oh, too bad. I'll have to repost it on LinkedIn. So maybe the thing that's stressing you out is worrying. Maybe the thing that's stressing you out is people pleasing. Maybe the thing that's stressing you out is procrastination. Okay. So what we need to decide today is, what is the activity that's causing you stress and how can you let it go? Right? Some of you may be saying, well, if we're going to talk about career, it's my boss. Well, I have a story about that, and I have a solution for you. But first, let's center in. For those of you that are not driving and are available, what I would like to invite you to do is to be still for a second. Just uncross your legs, put your palms facing up, loosen your collar, and just join me. And we're going to start by taking a deep breath, breathing in and letting go slowly. And you can even let out a sigh of relief, right? Now let's take a breath. Now again, let go. Let out a sigh of relief, right? And this is just a gentle exercise to bring us back to our place of power, which is what? The present moment, right? The present moment is our opportunity to see what is now. Yesterday, you may recall, I talked about whether we could be a worrier or a warrior, right? And anytime we are focused our attention in the future, or our attention is focused in the past, what is going to happen? We're going to feel disconnected, right? Because we're not in our place of power where we are connected and grounded, which is in the present, which is in the infinite, eternal now. Okay? So being in the infinite and eternal now allows us to be open to creativity, to possibilities, right? It's when we're thinking, oh my goodness, hi Rose, what's going to happen in the future? What might happen with this, with that? Do you know how many times, and I'm sure I'm not alone, I have worried about things that never even happened? Okay? We can't afford that. Because if you remember yesterday, what did we talk about? We talked about how stress affects our body, right? And when stress affects our body, it can create havoc in every system of our body. I'm just pulling it up right now. It can create havoc in our nervous system. It can create havoc in our immune system. It can create havoc in our respiratory system. Every single system that we have is impacted by stress. So, what do we need to do when it comes to our stress? We need to make a conscious effort to reduce it. Okay. I'm going to bring up the presentation so that for those of you that were not here yesterday, you can see the effects of the body. Um, why am I so passionate about this, by the way? Is because, like I told you yesterday, my business partner and I, both recovering adrenaline addicts. What is an adrenaline addict? An addiction to constant stress, fight or flight mode, and where you're constantly running from that saber-toothed tiger. And some people that I know are very overly active, overcommit, do too much because they don't want to feel their feelings, right? They want to avoid their feelings. And when we avoid our feelings, what happens? We think that we're just going to, dissolve them. But actually, what we're doing is we're pushing our stress down and it doesn't go away. It causes all of these issues in the body and puts us at higher risk for high blood pressure, heart attack, diabetes, hair loss, acne, Anytime you're in sympathetic system, which is stressed, you're not in parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So you may have digestion problems, mental health problems, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to stop that, pull up the parking brake, stop it in our tracks. What are we going to do? We're going to focus our attention in what we can control, right? Especially when it comes to career. How many of you had a boss that you didn't get along with? How many of you had coworkers? Put it in the chat so I can see. How many of you had coworkers you didn't get along with? And by the way, we have 3 Facebooks, 2 YouTubes, and a LinkedIn, which I think is not working. So, I may not see your comments right away, but I will eventually see them. And make sure you put your name so I can, just in case you're not registered with StreamYard. Okay. So when we talk about our career and stress in our career, it can be very, very daunting. Why? Because that's our livelihood. That's where we make our money. If we're not happy at our career, whether you're an entrepreneur working for yourself and you're creating the stress, or you're an entrepreneur and you're dealing with office politics and jealousy and protocol and issues with hierarchy, et cetera, whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's the same stress, right? And it can feel very daunting because, wait a minute, this is how I make my money. This is how I put my food on my table. This is how I take care of my kids or my grandkids or my dog or my cat. I need to have this flowing. And when it's not flowing, it just really impacts you, especially because most people spend more time with their coworkers, bosses, clients than they do with their family. Because the average person isn't working a 4-hour work week, they're working an 8, 10, 12-hour day. When did you get started this morning? Early, right? When are you stopping at night? I know I'm stopping at 8, but I have a joy, not a job. And because I do what I love and I love what I do, I could literally, because I'm in the zone, do it all day. And I work for myself. And it took a long time to get here where I am, 22 years as an entrepreneur. I work for myself and I only work for clients that I enjoy working for. I have that luxury now, and I coach other people how to do that in my Monetize Your Magnificence program. But some of us, back when I was working a job, a job, just over broke, let me tell you a story of my boss. My boss, this was back in the late 90s. No, mid 90s. Yeah, it was one of my first jobs out of college. And for whatever reason, and I'm sure you have had the same experience, that boss just didn't like me. And it seemed like she was out to get me, actually. She was writing me up for I don't know what it was, like wearing open toed shoes. Where I was working in a warehouse, helping people with disabilities get jobs. And I guess she couldn't have the kind of shoes I was wearing, but every little thing she was writing me up for. And not realizing that I was so passionate about this job and wanting to help my people with disabilities that I couldn't understand why she was picking on me when I was so dedicated and devoted, just like you. I'm sure you are dedicated and devoted and passionate, right? So when people don't appreciate you, whether it's your boss, whether it's your coworker, whether it's your client, it can be very upsetting, right? And cause a lot of stress. So what can you do about it? How can you mitigate it? Well, first thing I did was go to a mentor. And my mentor said to me, listen, Deborah, I'm going to give you an assignment. And this is not going to be easy, but it's going to change everything if you accept this assignment. And I was like, what? What do you want me to do? And my mentor was like, I want you to pray. I want you to pray for everything you want for yourself, for your boss. I'm like, what? But my boss has done this to me. She's done that to me. This happened, that happened, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I don't care. I want you to pray for everything that you want for yourself, for your boss, right? So I was in my mid 20s. Yeah, mid 20s. And what I wanted in my mid 20s, different than what I want now, I wanted a husband and kids. And I'm like, oh, I just want a family, right? Because that's what we're taught, especially in my culture, like, you know, that's the whole dream. Get married, have children, right? And so that was what I wanted. So that's what I prayed for her. I was like, I pray that she's just happy, she gets married, she has children, and maybe she get off my butt, right? Anyway, I prayed for her for the 30 days. Then my mentor said to me, that's not all. I want you every single day to let me know one thing you're grateful for about the job. And I said, okay. Well, I'm grateful for my coworkers. In fact, my coworker, Tanya, are you on? She's from Brazil. We've been friends since I had that job, which was, I think I started that job in 1994. Were you alive? Anyway, it was a long time ago. And I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for Tanya, my best friend. I'm grateful for the beautiful people with disabilities that I get to help that are so amazingly loving. I'm grateful for all that I'm learning, that I practice from school, blah, blah, blah. So every day I would give her a list, gratitude. Then I began to take inspired action. What kind of action? Inspired action. Okay. Not just any action, inspired action. If you're with me, comment below. If you're with me, also share this because you don't know who may be on the verge of a nervous breakdown or on the verge of quitting or on the verge of something that really needs to hear this. Okay. So share this. Sharing is caring. Okay. So I did what she said. I prayed for the boss, everything I wanted, love and romance. Then I did a gratitude list every day of what I loved about the job. And then the third thing she had me do, which was the practical thing, and my brain loved practical things, is, update your resume, improve your speaking, get out there and get visible. And so I started volunteering to do extra work at this job. I'm like, well, let me give presentations. And this was in my mid 20s. And I did a presentation for this government job at the state of California Department of Rehabilitation. And my future boss, Darren Smith, if you're on here, you can say hi. She's still my friend and still one of my greatest teachers and mentors, Darren Smith. So Darren Smith saw me give this presentation and was like, oh, we want to hire you. I was like, what? And so she gave me like the steps to be able to get the government job that I had dreamed of, that I had been going to school for to get my bachelor's and master's degree in helping people with disabilities get jobs. Fun fact, I did that for like 12 years. Anyway, I was like, oh, wow. And then something crazy happened, Rose. Listen to this. So here I am, praying for my boss, doing gratitude, and then really taking steps every day to get out of my comfort zone and just really develop my skills and my career path, improving my resume. There was no LinkedIn at that time. Improving my speaking, doing presentations, etc. And guess what happened? I started to like my job. I started to not care about, if the boss didn't like me or what was going on, or it didn't affect me as much. So even though, she still was the same, it kind of rolled off my back because suddenly I felt immune because I didn't feel that I was trapped. You see, oftentimes we're stressed because we think the locus of control is external, outside of ourselves. But you want me to give you the big secret of how to reduce stress, reduce anxiety? When you realize the locus of control is inside of you. And guess what? If it's inside of you, you can change it. You can change it. You have control. And a lot of times when we're anxious, it's because we feel powerless and that we don't have control. And when you realize you do, there's a peace that pours over you. There's a feeling of this too shall pass. There's a feeling of I got this. There's a feeling of the universe will never give me more than I can handle. There's a feeling of everything always works out for me. And I'm saying there's a feeling of because it's not the thought that's going to change your anxiety. it's the feeling. So it's literally catching the feeling, catching the vibration, right? So guess what happened? You'll never believe it. So great to see you, Lisa. Guess what happened? She, the boss that I had been praying for to have love and happiness, because remember, that's what my mentor told me to do. And I remember yesterday I said, when we want to release stress, we need to take contrary action, right? So if you want to go, 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 you need to sit, 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 be still. If you want to be angry, 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 you need to be forgiving, forgiving, forgiving. Because anytime we're angry or resentful at other people, it doesn't affect them, but affects us. It affects our sleep. It affects our nervous system. And like I showed you on the chart, we can't afford to have stress in our body. It affects every system. And remember, Adelaide, who is no longer with us, her legacy that she put in me is for me to educate people so that you don't have to go through the adrenal burnout that we went through, both of us, right? So guess what happened? Long story short, because I got to speak. What time is it? I have a speaking engagement. I got to get to it. Okay, guess what happened? The lady, I'm not going to say her name just in case she's on my Facebook. I don't think she is, but just in case, you never know. She ended up getting pregnant. Remember, I had prayed for love and happiness. And what I really wanted when I said love and happiness was marriage and a family. I need you too, Ashley. Marriage and a family, right? And so the lady, my boss, got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, guess what happened? She had some complications with her pregnancy, and she literally one day didn't come to work and was on leave for 9 months. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have to deal with this lady anymore. But guess what happened? Remember, I did the presentation for the government job because I was getting myself out of myself and just improving instead of having a pity party and being a victim of external circumstances and conditions. I listened to my mentor and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not a victim of external. I have the locus of control within me. I'm going to take contrary action and improve myself, right? So the lady, Darren Smith at the state of California, offered me a job. And I was like, well, now I don't need to leave. I have this, the boss that was driving me crazy was gone, but I had learned the lesson. My mentor said, yes, you do need to leave. You need to go on and serve at a higher level. So, what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is rather than being a victim in our career, in our business, because I know a lot of my clients and a lot of my friends are small business owners like me. So instead of being a victim of our circumstance, we can be a victor by taking control, by taking our power back, by taking contrary action. Most people get angry. Oh, I'm going to practice forgiveness. Most people would just quit and then, have to go on unemployment. I'm going to practice being an even better worker and shining my light so bright that, oh, guess what? I got a job offer. Wow. A couple, right? So, this is how we can mitigate stress. This is how we can release it by taking back our power. It is not institutions that control us, right? It is our self that controls us, right? That controls our thoughts, that controls our emotions, that controls our behaviors, control our reaction and response, right? That's what does it, right? We're not a victim, we are a victor. And when we have that perspective, guess what? We can shift our energy. So even if we're in a place that we don't love, we can learn the lesson so that we can let it go and go on to our next place of service. All right. And just to give an example for those of you that are self-employed, because I know Ashley's self-employed. Hi, Jennifer. So Ash, so like for those people that have your own business, maybe like I had a situation where I had a client that didn't pay me for 6 months. I had to wait and wait and wait. And the more angry I got, because it was a very famous financial institution bank that you know of, that you see on every corner in blue and white letters. I won't say the name. But this bank, actually, I think they took 9 months to pay me. And I really needed the money at that time. And the more I was angry and resentful at them not paying me, the more stressed I became. And as soon as I just let it go and just said, you know what, I trust in God we trust, right? It doesn't say in client we trust on our money. It says in God we trust. So I said, you know what? I'm going to shift my energy from trusting that organization. I'm going to trust God. And I'm going to know right at the moment that I need the money, I'm going to have it. And it was, I can't remember what big bill came in, but there was a big bill, I think a tax bill, something like that, where I needed thousands of dollars. And the check that I got at the right exact time, it came in, right? So when we realize that things may not come in our time, but they're happening in divine time, it shifts our energy from stressed to what? Less, right? And I know that sounds corny, sounds cliche, but is it in fact true? Is it in fact true? And we, in my book, Confessions of an Adrenaline, I talk about we have a choice, you know, we can choose to be victims of conditions, of circumstances, or we can choose to be in our power and take daily contrary action that's going to bring us closer and closer to our soul's contract. One thing that I coach people, and I invite you to think about this when you are thinking about applying for a job or you're thinking about working with a client, does your energy feel expanded, light, or does it feel contracted, heavy? If it feels light and airy, that's because it is in alignment. It is for you. And if it doesn't feel light and airy, it is not for you. And when we trust, and if you don't believe in God, maybe you believe in the universe, or maybe you believe in a divine order, right? When you trust in the divine order, what is for you will never pass you by, whether it's a career opportunity, a client, a job. I had an opportunity that came to me. Listen to this. It came to me. I have the offer letter in 2007 for a big deal, a contract. And it passed me by. And I was so sad about it because I was like, this is really this will really set me up for success, like big opportunity in my career. And guess what? A month ago, 2024, that opportunity with that same company, different configuration, came back around. And that is proof. That is proof. What is for you is for you. What is not for you is not for you. And guess what? We cannot dwell in the past and what didn't work out and what didn't fit, what didn't flow, right? Because when we're doing that, our power and our energy is in the past. And one great way to stay as a warrior is to focus your energy either on the future or on the past. In my book, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, we talk about focusing our power where? Present, in the now. Okay? So that's what we want to do. All right? Cool. Oh, you made it back. Great. So now that Lisa's back, we can do a process. We were waiting for you, Lisa. I'm actually about to do a speaking engagement at 6 o'clock, but we still have time for a little bit of process, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little exercise that's going to shift you from stressed in the sympathetic system, fight or flight, to the parasympathetic, rest and digest. For you ladies that are listening, I have a lot of women friends, and I have some friends like me that are in the menopausal years. One of the things that we don't like about menopause is belly fat, right? What is belly fat caused by? Cortisol. What increases cortisol? Stress. What decreases cortisol? This exercise. So save yourself the sit ups, save yourself all those crunches, because right now we're going to do a fun and fast exercise that's going to help you reduce your cortisol, reduce your stress, and align for success. Realign for success. Okay? All right. So, once again, if it's safe, you're not driving, close your eyes, take a breath. So, this time when you breathe in, you're going to hold it for 4, and then you're going to puff out like 1, 2, 3. So, you're going to breathe in, you're going to hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, puff out. And the energy of doing this, now I know why people smoke. They don't smoke because they like nicotine or they like tar in their lungs. They smoke the feeling of going, of blowing like through a straw. It actually shifts you from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode. How do I know? Remember, I told you yesterday, I've been suffering from panic attacks for years and having many, many therapists, hypnotherapists, this therapist, that therapist, teach me different techniques. I've learned all these different things to do. And recently, I started practicing this while I drive. Like I told you, I stopped driving a lot, but I drive little distances and I'm practicing this skill. So let's practice it together. Breathe in through your nose. Now hold for 4. Now breathe out. And something about breathing out, the 1, 2, 3, and the quick breath, it has me feeling powerful. Do you feel powerful, Lisa? What about you, Jennifer? What about you, Rose? Ashley? You feel your power? Remember, I said part of shifting from stress to blessed is taking back our power. It's knowing that the locus of control is not external, it's internal, it's within us. The choices we make, the decisions we make, they're bringing us into a place of expansion because we're on purpose rather than contraction, that we're living small. We can't live small. When we live small, we're going to feel difficult. We're going to feel not at ease. Okay. All right. Powerful, right? Good. I'm so glad you need to hear this. I'm so happy to see all of you. I missed you. I'm sorry I've been a stranger. Okay. So, my request for everyone is to practice this. And notice I'm not giving you a 25-minute meditation. I'm not telling you to, go to a silent retreat for 3 days. I'm giving you short and sweet little tools and techniques. For those of you that were not with us yesterday, you can go to my website, which is deborahderas.com, and you can click on the link that says Overcoming Burnout Challenge, and you can watch the replay from yesterday. I am going to be here every single day this week. And I have to tell you, every day this week, I'm in a different city because I'm speaking. I have 8 speaking engagements this week. Thank God, because I'm on purpose and in alignment with what I'm supposed to do. But wherever I am, guess what? I'm with you because you're important to me. And you're not just important to me, you're important to this world. And you're being at your highest and best, totally in a place of your power is what's needed for your talents, your skills, your abilities to be used in this world. If you're stressed, it affects everyone. It's the butterfly effect. If you're stressed, you're not going to be able to be at your best. And then your talent that you came on this earth to do cannot be fully magnified. And so my soul's contract is to help you, is to support you, is to ignite you, is to elevate you. So you get to where you need to be. And whether I'm teaching you AI or I'm teaching you public speaking or I'm teaching you mindset tools, It's all the same. It's helping you to realign for success. And that's what I'm here for. So I hope you enjoyed this today. If you enjoyed it, please share it on your Facebook. I would really appreciate that. My goal is to get the entire planet synergized, realigned for success, doing whatever I can do, doing my part. And you know what? When you are on purpose doing your part, you can't simultaneously be of service and be stressed. So during the pandemic, when I was stressed, because like I said yesterday, the only person that likes change is a wet baby, right? So when the pandemic hit, there was so much change, we didn't know what to expect. For a second, I got stressed. And then I said, wait a minute, I need to take contrary action. Instead of ego, not my amigo, focused on me, I need to focus on how to be of service. So that's my invitation to you before we sign out. How can you be even more your authentic self? How can you be even more your authentic self? Because when you are, guess what? That stress is going to go down automatically because you can't be in a place of blessed and a place of stress. The two cannot coexist. We don't live in a dualistic universe. It's one or the other. So, my invitation today is to practice the breathing. You breathe in, hold, breathe out, right? And then just notice your body and do it for a cycle of 4 times until you feel more peaceful. I feel more warm. Love it. Okay, thank you so much. It was so great to see some of my old friends on here. And I know some of you, like Michelle, was watching the replay, and Jade was watching the replay, and Bonnie and Grace. And so glad to see Rose and Jennifer. Actually, where are my men? I guess men aren't feeling stressed. Yeah, right. Okay, thank you. Power of the women. I'm not mad. Oh, by the way, don't forget to register at Overcoming Burnout Challenge. You'll get information. We're going to do another challenge at the beginning of the year next year for goal setting. So the first week of January, which by the way, I'm going to be starting my doctoral studies next year. So exciting. So many exciting things. Going to be, teaching at UCSB starting next month uh, through Santa Barbara City College. I'm going to be developing an AI program that's going to be free for you for next year at Santa Barbara City College. Just everything I do is going to be to uplift and elevate and ignite you. So I hope you'll join me. Make sure that you subscribe to my email list at overcomingburnouchallenge.com. And we'll see you tomorrow. Okay? I'm going to go teach right now. See you live at 5. Ciao. Bye bye. So great to see you. Remember, with the power of synergy, anything is possible. Ciao. Love ya.
Are you feeling burnt out at work, with family, or community obligations? Does the idea of the elections and the aftermath, the holidays, or maybe just the stress of caregiving for your kids, adult parents, and still finding time to take care of yourself? Well, I have great news. I've created a Overcoming Burnout free 5-day challenge. This is an online training just for you. So save the date. It is November 11th through November 15th, every day at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And in 45 minutes a day, I'm going to personally coach you the 5 pillars of life: spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and financial. That's going to help you reduce stress and learn how to create success the ease and grace way. This will be an experiential training, so you're going to experience real time processes where I help you de stress right on the spot. Plus, those of you that sign up for the VIP may have a chance to have one-on-one spot coaching sessions. There's going to be so much positive energy, so much synergy, and best of all, there's no cost to join. This transformational experience is free, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So make sure that you sign up now. The registration link is overcomingburnouchallenge.com. Just click on the link below, your name and email. You'll get all the information to be able to transform your life and realign for success just in time for the holidays so that you can feel empowered, calm, and on track. If you have any questions, you could always connect with me online. Just send me a DM on Facebook/Deborah Deras or email me deb@deborahderas.com. I really look forward to seeing you in this amazing transformational week. Remember, set your calendar, 11/11. Let's realign for success with the Overcoming Burnout Challenge.